So today we're gonna learn lesson 3.4. It's about the fundamental theorem of algebra. It's page 184 in our book. Uh, I'll start with the fundamental theorem. If we have a function f of x and it's equal, we wrote it this way. It means I have an n degree polynomial. It could be degree 2, 3, 4, 5, and goes on. With real or complex coefficient, we have at least one zero. It means if I have any polynomial, okay, any polynomial, if it's degree 5, it means I have five zeros. Those zeros could be real or complex zero. So we have at least one zero such that f of w is equal to 0 and w belongs to c, the complex number. And when I say w belongs to the complex numbers, you're going to tell me it means, miss, all the time we have a complex. Uh, can I have sometimes just real numbers? We need to think about that. If I have a complex number as a pure complex number, pure real complex number, example, if I gave you 2 plus I, it's a complex numbers. 2 is a real part, I is imaginary part, 1, it means the imaginary part. But if I give you, for example, the complex number 2, this is pure real, so it's called the real number. It's not anymore a complex number. So that's why the real numbers are included in the complex number. So when I say W belongs to C, it means also the real numbers or the real roots are included in the solution. So this is the theorem. It means that at least I have a zero. This zero could be a complex or it could be a real number. And then we move to the lemma of this theorem. So if I have a root, if when I have roots for this polynomial, it means that f of x can be factorized. How can I factorize it? Let's say that I have w1 is a root. It means I can factorize it. It means x minus w1 is a factor. What does it mean? Let's do it in another way. If I say x equal to 2 is a root, it means x minus 2 is a factor. If I say x equal 4 is a root, it means x minus 4 is a factor. If I say 2 plus I is a root, it means x minus 2 plus I is a factor. So, but we need to be careful that we need here to put all the time the coefficient of the highest degree. So if here I have the coefficient, for example, let's say I have 4x4, it means when I want to factorize, I should put it here, 4 factor of x minus the first root times x minus the second root. To be able to understand the lemma, I will do this example. So the question is to factorize f of x equal x4 minus 6x3 minus 19x squared plus 24x. Or sometimes when I say factorize like this, it's a vague question. I didn't precise my question, but it means what I mean by this. I need to write as a product of linear factors. It means each factor should be degree 1. So it's not enough to just have product of two factors, but each factor should be a linear factors. It comes from the word line. It means it should be degree 1. So let's take this example and let's try to do it. So if I write here the function that already I gave it to you, so f of x is equal x4 minus 6x3 minus 19x squared plus 24x. If I look at this polynomial, first I have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. And I can notice that I have a common factor, I have a visible factor, we say, between the terms, it's x. So I can factorize first so I can write it's equal to x factor of x3 minus 6x squared minus 19x plus 24. Okay, this form is called factorized. But did I factorize till the maximum? It means, are the factors all linear? No, till I have x3. So now I need to think about factorizing x3 minus 6x squared minus 19x plus 24. In the preceding chapters, we saw how do we factorize this one. So we try to find the divisor of 24 and to see if there are zeros of this polynomial. So if I want now to factorize x3 minus 6x squared minus 19x plus 24. The divisors of 24 are plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, and there is many divisors. Let's try if 1 works. If 1 is a root, so it's easy, I can start to divide. So if I replace x by 1 here, 1 minus 6, it's minus 5. Minus 5 minus 19 minus 24 plus 24, it's 0. It means that if I replace here, I don't want to say f of 1. If I replace here x, if I replace here x by 1, it gives me a 0. It means it means I can say that x minus 1 is a factor. So I can divide x3 minus 6x squared minus 19x plus 24 by x minus 1. To divide, I can either use the long division or the syntactic division. Now I'm going to use the syntactic division. So I'm going to put 1 here. And then I'm going to put the coefficient in order. So the coefficient of x3 is 1. I have minus 6, minus 19. And be careful to write all the coefficients. If there is one coefficient missing, should replace it by 0. Let's just fix this one here. Yeah. And then now I will do my long division as we did in the class. I'll take the 1 here. 1 times 1, it's 1. Minus 6 plus 1, it's minus 5. Minus 5 times 1, it's minus 5. Minus 19 minus 5. Minus 24. Minus 24 times 1, it's minus 24. 24 minus 24, it's 0. So I can double check my work that yes, it's right, that 1 is a factor. Now we know that this one will be the coefficient of x squared, this one of x, and this is the constant. So now what can I write? Let's move to the other page. So now I can write that f of x is equal, I have the first factor x, my second factor is x minus 1, and now I have it's x squared minus 5x minus 24. So this is what I got here. Now, did I finish factorizing? No. We said that we needed degree 1, linear function. So I still need to think about this one, how to factorize. This one we have 2 methods or even 3 methods to factorize it. But or I can use delta to see what are the roots and to factorize it. Or I can use the sum and product that also we did before. So either this or this. So you can either use this one or this one. I will use delta, and you can also do it on the calculator. So if I need to factorize this one will give me 2 roots. It will give me x equal to minus 3, and it will give me x equal to 8. We already did this one in the preceding chapter. When I say x minus 3 is a root, means x plus 3 is my factor. Yes or no? And when I say x equal to 8 is a root, it means x minus 8 is my factor. Let me just fix this one. So either I can do it, as I said, by delta, either by the calculator. If you would like, also I can do it by splitting minus 5x. I can do it if you want. We can do like this, x squared minus 5x minus 24. This is called the S&P. Sorry. So I will think about this is the product minus 24 and the sum is minus 5. Which two numbers, if you multiply, gives me minus 24. If you add, gives me minus 5. It's minus 8 and 3. So I can decompose minus 5x to minus 8x plus 3x. We did it before, so I will just remind you about it. So I can write it like this, x squared minus 8x plus 3x minus 24. I will do a partial factorization, each two terms by itself. My common factor is x factor of x minus 8, plus here my common factor is 3, x minus 8. And then I can see that I have another visible factor. So it's x minus 8 factor of x plus 8. I got the same answer. So here I did it by delta on the calculator or manually. delta b squared minus 4ac, and then when I will get delta, I'll do the root minus b minus radical delta over 2a minus b plus radical delta over 2a. If you are able, or if you can use the calculator, you can even do it by the calculator. And now I can finally write the final answer of x factorized with each factor is a linear factor, is x factor of x minus 1, factor of x minus 8, and factor of x plus 3. Now I want to move on to another example that is also very important. So